I like it.
There we go. Looks good.
This is good. Thanks, man. Appreciate this. I really appreciate you like doing this and bringing your stuff here. Coming to this space. I like this space.
Well, dude, I love this space, and I owe a lot to it. I think we have to first shout out Izzy Rodriguez, who told me about this place.
Dude, Izzy.
Planted the seed.
I love you, Izzy. She's one of my favorite human beings on the planet. You know, she's a connector. There's certain people that function as just connectors in the world where they will, you know, selflessly just think about how to bring people of like minds, like experiences, like situations together. They just do it naturally. And like the bonds that they'll create, you know, will change people's lives for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And I think we all have that sort of like impact on each other, and we don't really think about it or utilize it or wield it with the power that it has.
Yeah.
You know, but you're like that too. You're a connector, you know, and the things that you create in the world, which are fucking cool.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Like, I love seeing your stuff out in the wild and you know, seeing how the web of Eric is, you know, nets out, and like it's always with smiles. There's always like a good feeling around it. There's always like positivity. And that's, you know, that's cool, man. It's appreciated.
Thank you, Tom. It's because how can you not be happy and spreading love and light? You know? And I know there's a lot of people out there who don't, but, you know, you don't really know how far those things go.
Yeah.
Because you and I, people like us, we're put here to raise the vibration of the planet and connect people together and literally improve the world for everybody around us. Because it's like when one teaches to learn, right?
When you say people like us, like what do you mean in terms of
Thank you. Archetype?
Yeah. To raise the vibration.
People who have used psychedelics in particular to expand their consciousness and open them up to new ways of thinking, being, and acting into the world for the higher good.
Yeah, people, I would say that is a category of people then. Those people might just are like, I think the people that are open to experience, open to exploration, open to viewing new perspectives and new paradigms, because that, you know, those perspectives and those paradigms, do we start over?
No, keep going.
Yeah, those perspectives and paradigms are just like, sometimes people are afraid of thinking outside of their box. You know what I mean? Dude, this is so fun. So much fun.
That's how you line up the audio and the video. It's a fun little party trick.
That's pretty cool, man.
Because the audio is
right. That's why they have the clappers with the slapstick, right?
Yep. Lines it all up. All right. So we're going and we're here, man. This is cool.
It's a pleasure to be here. I love talking to you anytime that we get a chance to talk. And I think it's cool to give it the opportunity to be put down so that we can listen to it again. I wish I had that ability with all of my conversations to just replay them and see where I fucked up and like where I could get better, because when we're talking to people, we're not there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want to be respectful and you want to listen to what they're saying and absorb it, but also you're thinking, okay, what am I going to say next? When can I interject? When can I do that? And podcasting, for one, it's almost like you said, you can go back and listen and you're like, oh man, maybe don't talk over him here, or do this or do that. And it improves how you communicate with people.
Yeah, throughout the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned in the 10 podcasts that you've done so far? This is number 11.
This is 11.
Thank you for saving 11 for me.
Of course. Day after 11 portal. We're in this new paradigm.
So missed it. Yeah. So, like, what have you learned?
That's a good question. I've learned that I really like to talk to people and have meaningful conversation. I've learned a lot from just podcasting in general, not just having my own, but I've learned so much about just random shit that interests me. But definitely getting better at communicating with people, letting people speak and making eye contact and holding. It's a very intimate form of conversation. And those kind of conversations are really important. Vulnerability is important. Intimacy is like a multi-dimensional word, and it can have all kinds of categories. So I don't know. These conversations, how do I want to put it? They make it all worth it in the end. It makes being a human so beautiful, is being able to have these conversations and get value from one another, and there's a give and take, and people are listening and watching, and like they're learning something, and then just the ripples that that the podcast itself sends out. It's really powerful.
I think that I wish everybody would do this, have like a podcast once in their life, just so that they could connect with somebody in that way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you look in somebody's eyes, it is much harder to like harbor any sort of ill will towards them.
Yeah. There's a humanity to it.
That we have eliminated.
Yep.
Largely.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of the move forward, like, do you think in 50 years there's going to be two distinct groups of people, the people that are technology people and then the people that are,
off the grid type people?
I don't even want to say off the grid, but like, right now you're a pariah if you don't use text messages, if you make people call you. They'll be like, fuck, I got to call him. Like,
People who leave voicemails.
Right.
It's like, that's so retro.
Right. I can't believe he left a fucking voicemail.
Yeah.
Waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
But, so does that divide get broader? Like, there's people that, won't interact with the world without technology, and people that will only interact in the world without technology or something like that.
Well, you think about it, dude. Us humans, we evolved without technology and in small groups of people out and connected with nature and with the plants and the plant medicines. And it's almost like the technology has almost got us, it's become like a distraction from all of that. So I think because this is all so new, the Industrial Revolution in the last 100 years, how fast technology has progressed and how quick computers are getting smarter and smarter and smarter. I hope that doesn't destroy us, but I also think, like we were saying earlier when we were talking with Kyle, like there's a lot of good in the technology too. Like we're up sitting in this it's raining outside, we're inside, it's warm, it's beautiful, there's cool lights, there's technology like that. There's a good aspect to it, so it's definitely useful, but I think there's also like the balance, there's evil to it too.
It engenders more human life than would otherwise be possible, but mum's the word on the trade-off of the quality of that life.
Yes. Because I feel it sometimes. I'll go camping and I'm not really on my phone. I have no interest really. When you're out in nature like that, you really, especially if you're on psychedelics, the last thing you want to do is look on your phone or go on Instagram or Twitter or like all that weird energy.
It's strange.
It's very strange. Or I'll go, without even psychedelics, I'll go camping and I'll be connected with nature and I'll be in it and it's very primal and we're building fires. And then you come back to like air quotes, regular reality, regular society where we're deeply symbiotic with technology more so, and you can definitely feel the difference. It's definitely, I talked about it on the podcast before, it's good to just like go out in nature and unplug every now and again, and just, that's why I love floating. That's bringing a full circle. We're sitting here tonight in float in South Jersey. We're doing it here, and there's how many tanks are in this building?
We have what are currently the world's 4 largest floating pools.
There we go.
That offer sensory deprivation, which is pretty awesome. It's a cool little portal to have in the world. I love introducing people to this practice.
Yes.
It's so much fun to like take somebody and take them outside of their normal day-to-day so far that they feel reborn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's like, it's awesome. It's awesome. I understand that John the Baptist story a lot better now.
Yeah.
But floating, being out in nature, I think that I'm going to tie this in with one of my like deeper theories since we're talking about psychedelics a little bit. I think that the human brain is probably like a radio receiver.
Yes. I literally, not to cut you off, I said that earlier today.
Did you?
I said that exact phrase.
Right. So you think about somebody and then they call you, or you know that something's going to happen. I'm going to get that job, and you get it. Or, like, I know this is going to turn out bad, and it does. I feel like that it's emitting the vibratory, some sort of a communication with the external reality that we call the universe,
Wow.
So I think that, like, probably serotonin and all the neurotransmitters are conveying information in and from the brain and the body, but also probably picking up some, real micro frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum, because a molecule has a specific resonant spin vibration.
Yes, frequency.
So it's got a frequency, and the serotonin molecule looks exactly like the psilocybin molecule, except
Does it?
Yeah, dude. It's one atom different.
Oh my goodness.
If you put them on a piece of paper next to each other, you're like, which one's which?
So serotonin and psilocybin are very similar in their...
Yeah, geometrically, they look almost
goodness.
identical. It's just that on the psilocybin, there's like one or two extra little atoms that stick off like more antennae.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Wow.
It's like indistinguishable. So I think that when you plug in a different neurotransmitter to your wetware, it's like picking up a different frequency of the spectrum, and you're getting the access to the mushroom collective consciousness. And the serotonin is like the frequency of the human collective consciousness and stuff like that.
We talked about that on a walk we went on.
Yeah.
Near your place. And this, if we did evolve from apes, and the stoned ape theory proposed by Terence McKenna is real, which I think it's pretty likely. I like to think that that's
could
real.
Play into it, yeah.
Yeah, with neurogenesis and how mushrooms make the brain grow over
There's
time.
no question that psychedelic experiences have shaped the consciousness of the species throughout the evolution of its existence.
Consciousness and culture, religion, Christmas, all of these things come out of the use of psychedelic, specifically mushrooms. So yeah, dude, and my friend Efe said this the other day. He was over, we were talking, if we did evolve from apes consuming mushrooms over hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, then wouldn't mushrooms today be like a vitamin for that brain that evolved from the health of mushrooms?
Friends are like, hey, do you need any vitamin M? Talking about mushroom microdoses.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ginny. Hi, Ginny.
Microdosing's changed my life.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah, because it changes your perspective. It shifts the perspective. There was just a study that was released, a pretty in-depth one, that says psilocybin is 4 times more effective than SSRIs for treating depression.
Yeah, treating depression.
Yeah, and we're actually sitting here, and this is potentially the eve of a very momentous change. I just read that psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, have been added to the marijuana decriminalization bill in the state of New Jersey. So the legalization. Yes. Okay, yellow. Good. That's good to know.
There we go.
I'm going to keep that in mind. So
that's huge,
man.
Yeah,
psilocybin is potentially going to be decriminalized. I'm not going to get excited because it's in the marijuana recreational legalization bill, and some people think that they threw that in there to just be like a poison pill, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not going to approve the bill. He's going to say no to the bill because he's not going to approve the decriminalization of mushrooms.
Right.
But I think that after reading it, there seems to be some actual support. So that I literally screamed when I read it.
You did.
Yeah.
You exclaimed very loud. Yeah. I twitched.
I just can't imagine living in a place in a time where people are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to their own bodies.
It's
come
amazing.
on.
It's a beautiful thing. It's about damn time.
They got to give us something.
Yeah. Well, that's big for a state like New Jersey, man.
If you got to bounce it's good to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, everybody.
Shout out to Carl.
Yeah, Carl. Are you in tomorrow? Sweet.
Thanks for holding the fort down.
She's great.
I'm gonna make sure this camera's going. See you later. Yeah, this thing will record till it dies.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so
it's a big deal.
That's a huge deal, man. That's a huge deal. That like could change the way that society goes, because psychedelics have changed your life. They've changed my life. Anybody that's taken them in a responsible way with the purpose of self-exploration have said that it is one of the most significant experiences that they've ever had.
Yes.
Right. So like, if not everybody, but if 10% of the population had access to that type of experience without fear of being put into a fucking cage.
Yes. I mean, getting arrested because they're illegal.
Then so many people could create, like this thing that we have here, Float. This came out of incredibly, like a very high dose psychedelic experience that was done with shamanic intent, because I was trying to cure some depression and addictive tendencies and personality issues that I've read this has had significant benefit for.
I'm glad you came back to this because I wanted you to touch on this.
So the idea came while I was on psychedelics, and then a year and a half later, it opens in the world, and since then it's employed people. It's introduced 30,000 plus people to an experience that maybe 80% of them love like dearly, that made them feel really good, that provides them some relief, from respite, some rejuvenation, feeling relaxed, and it's like,
and they keep coming back,
right? And they keep coming back, and it's like, if this one experience that I had
is able to
so
bring
much good into the world,
exactly,
motivated me, took away my fears of like the things that were standing between me and building the type of thing that I wanted in the world. And you're creating things into the world that are bringing people joy because of your psychedelics experience.
Exactly.
Like, tell me more about that.
Exactly. I tell people all the time who are kind of on the fence about psychedelics, I'm very compassionate, and I try to hit them with a lot of science and neurogenesis and all this other good stuff. But I also say, people who really know me, Onwards wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me experimenting with LSD, and then just like it's like you upgrade your brain, like you level up in a way where you're, for that X amount of hours, your consciousness is tuned into a higher frequency.
Yeah. Your
consciousness is expanded, so you're able to get these ideas and creative visions. You're able to receive them out of who the fuck knows, out of the void.
Right.
They just come right in.
Right.
And you're like, oh, maybe I'll start a podcast, or maybe I'll open a float
center.
And then you do it, and then like a year later, it manifests. That's so crazy. If you're out there and you're depressed, understand that you are an infinite creative being that can literally pull things out of the void and manifest them into this physical reality.
Easier to say than
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, sometimes I forget. Yeah.
What I mean? Absolutely. But it always brings me back. It's like, damn, I really can create whatever I want. It's just, time is the only thing that separates it. From the idea to grand opening, a year went by.
A year and a half for me.
Year and a half.
For you, it was a year. Like
it was different. So Onwards all started with, that's right, you did ask. What was your question about Onwards?
Yeah, like how long between, like how did the psychedelic affect?
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was 17. I did LSD for the first time with my brother and two friends. We walked around in a golf course in the middle of a thunderstorm. It was the most powerful experience I've ever had with nature in my entire life. And that's when I realized, oh shit, like we're all connected. Yeah. Everything is connected. You, me, the trees, the cat down the road, like we're all the same energy.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then it wasn't until maybe a year later where... So it was like I said earlier, every time I would take a psychedelic, because I think there's an intelligence to them, and you and I have talked about this. Mushrooms are recent for me, but from 17 to 23, it was LSD periodically every several months. And I feel like you said, it's a shamanic intent. I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn something new about myself, the universe. I'm leveling up here. This is good. It's a beautiful reset, rebirth button. Senior year rolls around, and then I started taking a graphic design class, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. Take Illustrator, Photoshop, download them, and just start messing around with them. And that's kind of how the ball started rolling in terms of like the graphic design stuff. But how I got to Onwards was obviously because of LSD. I learned who Albert Hoffman is. I know what Bicycle Day is. I'm like, okay, this is cool. It resonates. I love the psychedelic art.
Awesome.
Music's a huge inspiration too. How much incredible. There's no music that has been inspired by psychedelics. Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, so countless more music. And I'm like, okay, well, they can't be all that bad, right? So, of course, you try them, and then you start creating your own art into the world, and it's a beautiful thing, man. So that's kind of how the psychedelic ties into the idea of Onwards and the bicycle logo and Bicycle Day and all that other stuff. But
I think it's important that people create things because that's the only value that exists in the world, right? It's like there's like everything that we spend money on is things that have been created out of the human mind and imagination.
Yes.
Like we don't spend money. All value is created because of production from a human.
Yeah. But it starts with that seed of an idea.
Right. So the more people that are free to create, the better, and the better for the society.
Yeah.
And the psychedelic for sure removes a barrier or blockade between a person and their ability to create.
It removes a barrier for a person to be, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I felt like that's what it did for me. It removed the thought barriers in my mind between Tom working for other people and Tom creating a business in the world.
It's because it's the ego is those walls. And fear, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah.
Fear of the unknown, uncertainty, risk, that's all kind of the ego trying to play it safe. But when you take the psychedelics and your ego is completely dissolved, and then you feel empathy, and you're, like Paul Stamets says, if you're a leader of a clan and you're like this pre-early human and you're eating mushrooms, you have your fear response is gone, you're empathetic, those are leadership qualities, you can then lead a clan, everyone's going to survive. So if your ego is dissolved, then of course you're not going to have those walls up, and you're going to want to be more creative and take more risks and see what happens. And then the quality of life is ultimately better, you could say.
Right. The more people that we have taking risks and creating, then the better it is for everyone.
Yes.
Because the more variety and options and, availability that we have, it's just how do we, I don't know, like I started a business as a white man with a perfect credit score that had saved some money up and had an investor and put a lien on my house.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I sold myself to the corporation and the state for a long enough of a period of time that I was able to leverage that into this place. But there's so many people that don't have a thing to leverage.
Yeah. How do we help them?
Oh man, I wanted to do something where it was like you go into like inner city Baltimore, West Baltimore, or something like that. And obviously, this is a horrible idea and shouldn't be done. But like leave a lot, like big piles of bags of fungus on every corner for like a 6-block radius.
Would it even grow?
No, like ready to eat fungus.
Oh, okay.
With like a little note.
Oh my God.
That are like, these are blah, 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 a little explanation. They should be used in this manner. They can help you with these things.
Oh my goodness.
And then see what happens. And my friend that live in West Baltimore said, bitch, they would just sell those to the white kids or like whatever, sell it to the kids of the university.
Wow.
And, nobody would have them.
You can lead a horse to water, brother.
I think about that saying a lot.
Me too.
Do you even want to lead the horse to water? Because when you lead the horse to water, you're creating an expectation within yourself that the horse is going to drink. Oh, so it's like all I can do is make sure that the water is good. Right.
I love that. That's a T-shirt.
Yeah. Just make sure that the water's drinkable.
The water's good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that, dude. People are going to hear that and their minds are going to melt.
Maybe if that's what does it, that's.
There has to be systems and protocols and infrastructure set up where if you are a young person and you want to have these experiences, there should be places where you can go in professional environments with professionals where you can go and learn about what they are and their history of their use. And honestly, we need to start reteaching the history.
I get leery anytime that you put a professional in the equation between a person and his mind,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or his faith or his spirituality, or
Right.
anytime that there's like a person, there's always some sort of corruption.
Swap the word professional for shaman.
Yeah. It's a different thing in my mind, a
Yes.
shaman and a professional.
That's the terminology I'm thinking of. People who are well educated and have almost like their main purpose is to be a vehicle for those people and a guide for those people to experience those kinds of states of consciousness. Professional, I don't think you want to, because I think of like medical professionals and like, you don't, mushrooms and medical professionals, air quotes. That's like a weird combination.
I got to go to a little seminar with the doctor, one of the doctors who was at Johns Hopkins on one of the psilocybin studies, who ran Kat McLean, who ran this study.
Wow. That's a big study.
Yeah, and she was awesome, man, and she was fantastic to talk to. But she said, sort of like off the books, that, it's hard to do in a clinical setting because it's like you're taking some of the ceremony out of it, and maybe the ceremony has something to do with it. Or
for sure. I think it definitely does.
You know, I think that anytime you know that you're in a medical professional setting and that you're being observed, it's going to change things.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because you wouldn't want to go to like a regular place where you go to get your blood work and that be the same place you're going to have a psychedelic experience with the blue xenon lights and the fluoride in the water. Like, you know, that's like you want it to be in a place like this where there's incense and artwork and cool selenite lamps and crystals, you know what I mean? Like, that's the environment you want to have it in.
For sure. And probably a lot of people would like that environment and like to have somebody there with them. I've found that the most productive experiences that I've had have been alone, by myself.
Yeah, 100%.
No distractions.
Yeah. So then maybe instead of air quotes clinical place to go, just make them legal so motherfuckers can do them in their house.
Right. Or you can create safe spaces for them where they're not necessarily being like looked over, but they, you know,
like a ranch, like an 80-acre ranch.
Yeah. But it's like, listen, you know, there's going to be people sort of within earshot, and if there's like a problem, you know, we'll come and help you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just like a nerfed kind of play space for somebody. I don't know. But I feel like that. Like when there's another person around, I have a harder time like letting go.
Yeah. I definitely feel that. My most profound psychedelic experiences and breakthroughs have definitely more often than not been when I was just alone by myself, me, my thoughts, and my space.
So we know that the thought manifests into reality. You know, how do we hone or refine that process so that we can really use it to our advantage?
Say that again?
We know that our thought manifests into the world.
Yeah.
How do we refine that process so we can use it to our advantage? It's like having, if your goal is to cut the grass and you have a lawnmower, but that lawnmower is just going all over the fucking place and you can't control it, you know, eventually you're going to get the grass cut. But if you could control that lawnmower and go back and forth, you're going to do a nicer job, and it's going to be better. Like, so how do we control our minds, Eric? I guess that's the question.
Is it discipline? Because I don't know.
I don't know what discipline means. To me, the idea of discipline suggests that there's like two warring parties in your brain.
Right. Maybe then it's like alignment and being in the flow state, doing things and practices, meditation, yoga, fitness, exercise, things like that. Read books, eat well. Make sure your meat machine, your spacesuit is working okay. Surround yourself in good people. Watch what you consume, not only food, but music and television and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because that definitely flavors how you look at the world, and your ability to manifest and be creative. So I think there's like a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah, dude.
Me and you being people who love to be creative and to have ideas and then see if we could bring them into this reality, whether I'm drawing something on my iPad or you're welding and doing float tanks, like building
cutting
float
my
tanks.
fingers off.
Cutting your fingers off with saws. Like,
yeah, right. It's not all the way off.
We put ourselves in environments and have created a lifestyle where that's almost like it's like an automatic thing where we make time to work on those things. People who are stuck in a corporate 9-to-5, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that sucks your life force energy out of you. So if you are someone who's creative and likes to do that, you come home and you're just, all the life force is sucked out of you, so you're not going to be creative.
Right.
You were in that life, right?
Yeah, but like somehow eating mushrooms like created the energy for me to just have this single-minded focus on like, I'm making this happen.
Yeah.
You know? I'm absolutely making this happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think all the practices that you mentioned all have something to do with stillness.
Mm-hmm. Floating. That's another. I should have said that. It's stillness and being able to unplug from everything. Because meditation's great, but I said this before. Floating it's meditation advanced. It's the greatest, most ultimate way to unplug from all stimulus. It's just you and your thoughts, and then eventually the thoughts go away, and it's just you.
So what is you? Who are you? I know this is an unanswerable question.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, I know that I'm not really Eric, this kid with a beard and a hat on who lives in New Jersey sitting here talking. I know that that's not me. I'm like this thing that inhabits and has created a personality around that. I don't know. Because I have Sam Harris's app, Waking Up.
Yeah.
And he does great guided meditations.
Yeah.
And he'll say some stuff like that where he's like, now, feel your face. What is behind, try to feel behind your face. And you're like, what, dude? Or close your eyes and where are you? But where is that you located?
Right.
Okay, it's I can feel some kind of presence or energy in my head. That's like when he says that to me. Or he'll have you think of an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
He said, think back to a time when you were real disappointed in yourself or you're real upset about something. Where do you feel it? And then you can actually feel it in your chest.
Right.
Your heart.
It starts to vibrate.
Vibrates.
Yeah.
So where am I? Who am I? Really? I don't know. Some frequency that this body that you know as Eric is just picking up on.
Is the you that you're referring to and the you that I refer to, like, you know, the I that you're referring to and the I that I'm referring to when I refer to me, is it the same?
Yes. It's God.
Right, but is it like, is it the, you know, like, is
same
right.
source.
Right.
What if, here's a fun visualization. If God, source energy, is like this mass, this like spherical ball of energy just spinning with potential, infinite potential.
Yeah.
And if it had like infinite tentacles,
yeah,
each one of us is like one of those tentacles.
Yeah, one of those little tentacles.
One of those billions. Because then,
But each tentacle point is being comprehended at the same, like at the same source at the same time.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
What were you saying?
I don't know, man. It's a fucking, I love that, but I love talking about this kind of stuff. And just because I don't fucking know. And I love to just pull that thread and see if I can maybe get a little closer to understanding it.
It's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's good because it's great mental masturbation.
Yeah.
I really like thinking about shit, you know. That's deep.
How crazy would that be?
Oh my God. So we're in a simulation. But at the same time, it's like a hamster running on a wheel, right? It doesn't doesn't get you anywhere. And it's like, it's almost antithetical to a spiritual practice, because it's diving into a realm of confusion and chaos of the mind. You're giving the mind power to get itself worked up into a tizzy about an existential crisis, as opposed to being right here, right now.
Yeah. That's why stillness, meditation, floating are all so important, because it brings you to the ever-present now, which is all that there ever is. The ever-existing present moment.
Yeah.
Be here now.
Yeah. But we're sitting here like, we could be here now, but we're playing with laptops and microphones and comfy chairs and, float tanks.
Crystals.
And fucking everything else.
Yeah.
And we don't need any of it.
No.
We need bread and water and perhaps some protection from the sun.
Yeah. Maybe a loincloth.
If we're from the planet Earth, if we evolved on the fucking planet Earth, why does the sun give us cancer? I can understand lighter skinned people because we need to absorb more of the sunlight to get but you're telling me that since we've started millions and forever ago, we haven't evolved the no skin cancer thing? Like, that's the only constant is the fucking sun.
Damn.
And why do I need sunglasses? Why doesn't
Apparently, it's like really good for your eyes and shit. Not like directly at the sun when it's highest, but like sun gazing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's good for your eyes.
And I hear red light, the Juve that I have, like looking into that red light is actually really good for your eyes too.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really good for your eyes is this peptide that I just took some of Pethalon. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
I injected myself with a research chemical for 5 days that I can't even pronounce.
Yeah.
And I feel great.
Yeah.
It felt so good. What's the most extreme thing that you've ever done to like hack your health?
That's an excellent question. Hack my health. I mean, I feel like nothing super crazy. The one thing that comes up, I did a juice cleanse for a few days.
How many days?
3.
Yeah.
Where I just drank juice from Whole Foods.
How'd you do?
I did good.
Yeah.
And, it was like every few hours or so you just drink maybe like a 12-ounce juice. And they were delicious, too.
Yeah.
Beets and celery and strawberries, all kinds of fruits and vegetables and greens. And you'd feel they were pretty filling. And then I realized when it was over and I ate like a meal again, I was like, oh my God. Food, not only is it good, but it's the enemy. Because of how much energy all of a sudden gets taken to digest that food.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because, just eating juice for a few days, all that energy is stored up, potential energy, just going out to other shit. Being productive. I remember that weekend I worked a lot, but I was like up and wasn't really worried about eating. But ever since then, I've noticed like I don't eat 3 big meals a day.
Yeah,
that kind of that's done for me. I'll usually go until like noon or 1, and I won't eat anything really. But it's gotten to a point where I'm just like used to it now.
Yeah.
But I realized after that cleanse and like eating food again, how much energy we give to digesting these meals. It's just like a weird thought, but so because of that, I'll usually have like a big dinner. But during the day, I'm usually chilling because I'll notice especially if it's a busy day, I got podcasts to edit and stuff to do. I'll try to keep it light, but
yeah,
that and health. But I also did a research chemical once.
Yeah,
we did the 5. What's the research chemical of psilocybin? 4-ACO DMT. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I tried that. Weird.
Yeah.
It was like 1 molecule away from psilocybin.
Yeah, but serotonin is one little shift from psilocybin.
Yeah, just another turn on the dial.
And serotonin is like, oh, we're here. Psilocybin is like, oh,
yeah, oh, we're
here.
Here. But I will say, I only did it once, and we went to Tame Impala, actually, where I got this shirt. So
I love
that's
that
cool.
shirt.
Thanks, dude. And that was a good, fucking amazing show. But the research chemical was weird. But again, I think, like we say all the time, your psychedelic experience is gonna ultimately. The environment that you're in and the people you're with will have a direct result on the experience you have. So being at a concert, surrounded with all these people, and most people at concerts, they're drunk and they're kind of sloppy and they're all fucked up on drugs. And
sure,
that's the last kind of person you want to be around on psychedelics.
Yep.
So, but it was all good. I'm here to see Tame Impala. I'm with my brothers and my friends. It's a good fucking time. But we were on the lawn and we were kind of standing on it was a hill. So we were kind of leaning forward the entire time. And it was just a weird combo of the 4-ACO and the show and standing weird and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, that's probably the riskiest thing I've done, but it wasn't really risky, but adventurous.
Yeah, adventurous, yeah. Have you ever done like like cold plunges. Have you been to the banya?
What is that?
The Turkish bathhouse. I got to take you to this place.
Oh.
So there's this place in Southampton, PA.
Okay.
Right. It's like It's 45 minutes from here.
Okay.
And it is called the Southampton Spa.
Okay.
It's a Russian Turkish banya or bathhouse. And they have 4 or 5 different types of saunas.
Whoa.
They've got rows of cold plunge showers, and they've got cold plunge pool. So you can go into like a Turkish hammam, which is a beautiful sauna. It's like 160 or 170 degrees, and then
need that.
Yeah, it's great. And then cold plunge or Russian 200-degree sauna.
Whoa,
crazy,
200 degrees.
Yeah, dude. They have one that's 200 all the time.
Oh my
Sometimes
God.
they break it up to like 210, 220.
Those Russians, man, they don't care. That's my blood.
And they
My family's from
drink
Russia.
fucking vodka in the goddamn sauna and hit each other with like birch branches and stuff like
I've
that.
seen that. That's a Russian spa, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
La
God.
Plaza. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So what? They dip the birch branches in like boiling water? Is
They'll
that what
like
it is?
soak the branches in water for a day or two before they get them there. And then they get them there and they're soaking in the bucket, and then they take the bucket in and they let the whole bucket in the water and the branches heat up. And then you'll lay there, and these soaked, heavy, warm, wet leaf bunches, they'll just hit you, hit you with
You're
it.
laying on like a massage table, and they like hit your back and your legs, or you flip over and they hit your chest.
Yeah, you're on the bench in the sauna. It's not even like a massage table. It's like a big sauna.
Okay.
So like, and it supposedly forces the heat into the body.
Wow.
Or force the heat. So this place is definitely owned by the Russian mob, no question about it.
For sure.
But they leave you alone. You know,
Comrades.
chill.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'll just go in there. That's my heritage. I'm sure we'll be okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I've only seen that with the bird, like a air quote, like an actual Russian spa where it's the sauna, the birch branches, and then a cold plunge. I've only seen that one other time on like a TV show where they did it.
Yeah.
And the cold plunges fascinate me.
It's intense.
I love it. Here is like, I try to, every shower towards the end, if it's not just a minute-long ice cold shower, I'll usually, I'm always getting some kind of cold water put on me if I take a shower. And the cold plunge here is awesome.
It's cool.
In the sauna room.
Yeah.
You just pull that chain and just ice cold water pours on you. It sucks in the moment, but afterwards.
Have you ever been in a pool?
No, that's next.
It's intense.
Yeah. How cold's the water?
Like 30 degrees. They salt it so they can take it below freezing.
Oh my God. I really want to try it.
Yeah.
I really want to try it.
It's wild though, man. It's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to do it, but it's worthwhile when I can get my bitch ass to do it. You know what I mean? I know a guy, he did a 32-day water-only fast.
Whoa.
He sat in a 200-degree sauna for like 40 minutes. Not all at the same time.
Right.
And then went into the cold plunge for 4 minutes. He stood in frozen water for 4 minutes just breathing. And I have no idea. Now, that's discipline. That's like, you're going to do this, do this, do this. Whatever that voice is that's like, do this, do this. It's for your benefit. Do this.
Conquer your inner bitch.
Yeah, whatever voice controls your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck is a human?
I don't know. I don't know, bro. We could just believe some non-player characters that some dude designed on a fucking computer somewhere.
Sure. Something happened. Whoops, we found the Easter egg.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. Oh shit, it's like the butter robot in Rick and Morty.
What is my purpose?
You serve butter.
Oh my God.
It's the best line ever. Join the club, pal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Right. So we're just walking around. We have different voices in our heads. We're we're arguing with ourselves about whether we're going to take the immediacy of pleasure right now, or we're going to do hard work and, that will feel better later.
Yeah.
But you never really feel as good later as you will feel right now if you just skip it.
I actually learned that. I'm reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book. Read it.
Read it.
Yeah, it's great. So where he talks about almost like the anticipation.
Yeah.
You always are happier and more excited in the anticipation to when the actual thing manifests. Like, I just got a new car today. It's a big deal.
It's beautiful.
For me. Thank you, bro. Thank you. but
well deserved.
It's awesome. I'm super happy to get it. But the anticipation of, I had to wait 3 weeks for it. The anticipation of getting it and all the fantasies, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do that. I'm looking at pictures of it. And then you get it and you're like, all right, it's dope. Like, we're here. Hell yeah. But it's interesting because it's with everything. The anticipation is almost like more exciting.
Yeah.
To when the real thing comes. And they've like proven it with studies.
A good friend of mine, a girl, is like, she keeps running into the same issue where she's like going for like unavailable guys.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. It's like this anticipation of, when am I going to hear from him?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it keeps her on the leash.
Yeah, well, I don't
excited.
I don't right. She's
excited.
She stays excited. And
serotonin.
Right. Yeah. But it's just interesting. It's interesting how we choose to do these things. And not, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Smoked too much weed earlier.
It's legal now in New Jersey.
Thank God, right?
Marijuana's legal in New Jersey now. Just hit it again. There we go. We got sound effects. Yep.
All right, we
got sound effects.
That. You're a wizard, by the way, man. Congratulations on deciding to start a podcast.
Thank
You're
you.
11 episodes in.
Yes.
You have this fucking perfect setup. This was super easy for you to bring over here and just set up and stuff like that. And you're giving me the opportunity to have a conversation with a friend who I love dearly. So I really appreciate that, man.
Love you,
that's
Tom.
really good. I love you too, man. You're creating cool shit in the world. I'm so happy that I'm getting to see it. I'm so happy that we're getting to work together. The logo that you just made for the new company that we're building to build float tanks is so amazing. And we just got our shirts, some shirts that you printed today, and it couldn't have come out better. I'm so thrilled. And that's something that graphic designers do that people don't give them enough credit for. You create tangibility out of someone else's imagination.
Yes.
You help translate someone else's imagination or vision or desire into something they can hold in their hands. And that's fucking magic.
It's crazy.
That's some alchemy shit.
You just took the word right out of my mouth, dude. It's alchemy. It's fucking cool. We all have that ability, though.
Yeah, but
graphic designers have it in a different way.
Do it in a different way.
Because it is cool, man. And I say that to people all the time where I'm so grateful to just that be one of the things that I am, because it's one thing to have an idea or to draw something on the computer out of an idea and it be all cool and you're seeing it in your room. But it's a totally other thing to bring it into this third dimension, really the fifth dimension. Let's be real. We're living in the fifth dimension. But bring it into this dimension, put it on a sticker, slap it on a bottle, and then I walk in with it, and then you're like, what's that? Onwards? Oh my God, I love that. And then that sparks everything. So it's fucking cool, man.
Right.
It really is cool.
Right. Your brand is so dope, man. I mean, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, that's fucking, where is that?
Yep. That's one of the things I love about you, Tom, is that if you see something that you like or you're supportive of, you jump on it. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I love that. That's you, dude. And that's so encouraging to people. More people need to hear that, especially for me as a creative. If I just make some dumb shit on my iPad that took 3 minutes and you're like, yes, how much?
Yep.
Yes, let's put it on a shirt. That's so
Dude,
fucking cool, man.
When I see something I like, I just no, why wait? Why fuck around?
Yes. Yeah. Mover and a shaker, bro.
Just keep moving forward. Keep going onwards.
There it is.
Keep moving. Yay! It's good, man. I love that. And it translates so well. It just translates into so many things.
Thank you.
So if you could see a major change in the people around you over the next year, what would that change be?
That's a really good question, because when you say that, I think about you, think about my family. I mean, hopefully not a whole lot changes. I think even though the world's pretty crazy, I think I've found a good little group of people where people like you, people like my family, and some close friends where we're able to get together and have these conversations, and just because if you look at the world, if you watch the news, you are supposed to be so upset and terrified and frustrated. But we're chilling, dude. Life is good. Like, we're sipping on some Wise Ape tea in this beautiful facility. Like, life is good. So hopefully not a whole lot changes, because things are going pretty good right now in my own personal reality.
Yeah.
Fortunately, not a lot of people can say that, but I can. So I'm grateful too.
Yeah.
What about you?
Fear. I just wish that, like, the only thing that I would change at all ever is the amount of fear in the world.
Yes. Beautiful.
I don't know how how they are getting away with sowing this. What's the word? It's it's sowing this like hyper vigilant discord or something like that, hyperactive discord, all on like division and fear. And I just don't understand why. Like, what is the point of that? Is it to make money? Is it to control populations? Is it like, why is that better than the alternative?
The alternative being whatever the opposite of fear is.
Yeah, love.
Love.
Everything boils down to love or fear.
Yeah.
People say greed is the root of all evil. Fear is the basis of greed. Fear that I won't have enough. Fear that I won't be loved. Fear that I won't be liked. Right?
Yeah. So it's either fear or love. It's like we were saying earlier, dude. There's so many people on this planet, and whether it be population control or whatever, it's crazy to think about. Just like even thinking about that idea, just like is like distracting me from the point I was trying to make.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just where were we?
I was thinking. I was asking, like, if you could get rid of one thing and the people around you, or change one thing,
right.
And so for me, it's fear. And then, why are we? How is it that the corporations that put out most of the content,
they want to push that idea of fear?
Why is that the agenda?
Because it's easier.
Because they're afraid.
It's easier to control you if you are afraid, right?
Yeah,
like
and the only reason somebody wants to control you is if they're afraid. So it's fear propagating fear, propagating fear.
Oh my goodness, hurt people.
That's a good one.
It's too far away.
I'll memorize these.
Yeah.
We should get one of those like drinking parrots or something like that.
Yeah. Just press it for us from here. You can program other sounds too. You can like plug it in. You can make custom ones also.
That's cool. I like the chimes.
Yeah.
If you can do one thing in your life to improve the lives of others that's not going to be too sacrificial for you, what's it going to be? Like, pick something that you're going to do in 2020 that's going to impact other people, that is, that you're doing for free without expectation.
Put this podcast out into the world.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are going to hear it, even if it's 5 people. Shout out to you 5 people. It's
going to be more than 5 people.
Yeah. Even if it is, that's 5 people who have heard this message, and their quality of life or the way they might think about things or their outlook on some things might be a little better and improved, and therefore you change their world, they change the world. You know what I mean? Like putting this thing out, and just spreading the love and the kindness and just being a beacon of light in these dark, dark times.
Yeah. It's funny how podcasts can turn around. I had a real serious glitch in the matrix, and if I ever start a podcast, that's what I'm going to call it, glitch in the matrix.
I love that.
And I'm just going to explore synchronicity, to like dive deeper into we're all one, all connected.
Yes.
Nothing's really chance. Everything has causality.
Everything.
So I hired a girl to come work at Float. Her name was Becca. I unfortunately don't talk to Becca right now. I'm sure that we may at some point. My relationship with her was like, it's a very long story, but
it's complicated.
It triggered a lot of like trauma.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't have a relationship, but like there was some abandonment trauma that that went down towards the end of it, and I sort of push it away.
Yeah.
So, but Becca is working here, and I asked her, hey, it was her third day or something like that. I was like, why did you come here? How did you hear about floating?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I used to listen to this podcast called the Mind Movers Podcast.
Yep.
And I was like, go on. And she goes, and there was a episode where this guy was opening of floats. And she like looked at me and I was like,
whoa, no
man.
way. That was you on the podcast?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Shout out to Brandon and Steve and Becca.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is a synchronicity if I've ever heard one.
And that's like, shit like that happens to me in here all the time.
All the time, dude. If you're tapped into that stuff and you're looking for it,
yeah,
and you're open to receiving those blessings
Yeah.
and synchronicities and little winks from the universe, they
Yeah.
happen all the time, dude.
yeah.
That's
the
correct.
time.
That's a good one.
There's good ones. What's your favorite one?
There's been a lot.
Yeah, give me one of them. Here, let's trade synchronicity stories.
Yeah,
for a little bit.
yeah. I love this.
Yeah.
I mean, even 11/11's been a big theme the last few days.
Sure.
Yesterday was 11/11. A few weeks ago, I was listening to a podcast. I was in Florida listening to Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn. It was like we were getting ready for bed. It was just on in the background. I was sipping my Wise Ape tea, just getting ready for bed.
I've been thinking about Theo Vaughn this entire podcast,
Really?
as it relates to this microphone.
Wow.
Go on.
There's synchronicity. See what I'm saying,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
it's
just all over. Bah, 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 bah. It's all connected. Or yeah, you know what I mean? So I was actually I've been listening to the Joe Rogan Theo Vaughns. I've been binging them.
They're great.
They're so fucking funny.
He's hilarious.
He is one of the funniest. He has one of the funniest minds.
it's just no pause to it.
No pause. He was saying, here's why I don't think we evolved from monkeys. Because monkeys don't ever come visit us.
Right.
Yeah. So I was listening to a podcast, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, and it was in the background. I wasn't really paying attention, whatever. I'm sitting there getting ready for bed, and I was thinking, the night before I had a dream about, there was a tiger in my dream. I had a pet tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered, and I thought, let me just look up the symbolism of tigers in dreams, because that's probably a thing. I'm big into spiritual animals, or spirit guides and animals that appear in dreams and all the symbolism because of that. And that I'll talk about another one with dragonflies all summer. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know your dragonfly.
So I'm reading symbolism of tigers in dreams on Google, like what it means. And as my eyes read and the voice in my head read the word tiger, Joe Rogan on the TV said the word tiger.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the clock and it was 11:11.
Ah! Nice. A little badooch.
Yeah. I just started laughing. There it is. But yep,
I know where it is now.
there it is. That was
Dude.
crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I just laughed. I'm like, okay.
Right.
But at the same time,
You're also like,
but at the same time, I kind of like looked around. I was like, who? How do you know?
Right.
The fact that I read the word tiger as he said it, and then looked and it was 11:11.
I actually tweeted this because it was a nice one the other day. I pulled up next to behind a car. It also had to do with Joe Rogan.
Yes.
I pull up behind a car, and on the back of the car is a bumper sticker that it's a Jurassic Park bumper sticker. It says, God creates man, man destroys God, man creates dinosaurs, dinosaurs eat man, women inherit the earth, right? And it's a line from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And
It's a long bumper sticker.
as soon as I was done reading the line, they go, it's like that scene in Jurassic Park. I was like, motherfucker, like the same, like tiger.
Yeah.
Mother.
Jurassic Park quote.
And it's
Jurassic
like-
Park movie. That's insane.
There's a lot of people that deride the linking of that, those confluence of events, as they deride a mind's linking of those events because what that means is too scary for them to accept.
Right.
So they say coincidence.
Yeah.
And there is no such thing.
No.
There is only causality.
Yeah. There's no such thing as coincidence.
So if your mind's manifesting everything that you're experiencing and or is in a, energetic play with the external reality, then it's a lot more accountability than I think than a lot of people are willing to take on, right?
Yeah.
Because where you are is where you're thinking, and you should be able to have 100% control of that. But we don't.
No. I got another one for you.
Give it.
So to set the stage about the dragonflies, I was in Florida. I went to Florida several times this summer. I was in Florida in July, out by the pool. Dragonfly lands on me.
Yeah.
First time that ever happened. He was chilling on me for what felt like minutes.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Beautiful, beautiful creatures. And flies away, and then I'm looking at, symbolism of dragonflies, change, transformation, like whatever it was.
Sure.
It was relevant at that point in my life. I get home, dragonflies in the summer are very abundant, so it's like every day they were following me. I would see several a day all the time coming up, flying around me. Sure enough, I go to get the mail one day after days of seeing them, and there's a dead one placed perfectly dead center of my front door. The structure and geometry of my front door and the doormat, it's like it was something, somebody placed it there perfectly with intention.
Sure.
Dead dragonfly, perfectly preserved.
Sure.
Here you go. A little gift
Right
from the universe.
there,
Here you
right
go,
there.
bro. Here's a dragonfly gift for you. So
Wow.
I bring it in and preserve it in resin, so it's chilling on my shelf. One of my best friends of all time, Miriam, she lives in Florida too, and she had also been seeing them. She's on a newfound spiritual journey. I've kind of been a guide for her and just giving her books and resources and videos and crystals, just giving her the tools she needs to accelerate on the spiritual journey, right? And she was also seeing dragonflies for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it was like this cool little thing that we shared. It was like, oh, I saw dragonflies. Anyway, my birthday is September 23rd. Hers is September 25th. So, of course, like, we're going to get each other a little something for our birthdays.
Sure.
I'm in Colorado. I get her a few things. This really cool handmade leather-bound notebook, some cute little crystals.
Yeah.
And I found a card that has a dragonfly on it. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Dragonfly card. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get home from Colorado. The gift that she sent me is waiting there for me.
With the same.
You ready?
Yeah.
So she gets her gift. She gets I come home from Colorado with the shit I'm supposed to send her. She had already sent me what she was going to send me.
Yep.
I open it up. Leather-bound notebook.
With
the same fucking notebook.
Oh my god.
Leather-bound. It was a different color, but you hold them next to each other, they're the same notebook.
Oh my god.
They're like some crazy handmade, beautifully done notebook, not just like some fucking 5-star you get at Target.
Oh my god.
Beautiful notebook. I'm like, okay. She sends me a card. And there's a dragonfly on the envelope.
Right.
I open it up, and it's the same fucking card that I got her.
God.
It's the same card that I got her, and
Right.
we were thousands of miles apart.
Yeah.
Different days.
Yeah.
And we got each other the same shit.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? How do you explain that?
Right. I mean,
The same card.
yeah.
Notebook, I get it, but the card?
Notebook. I don't even get the notebook, man. It's just like you're in tune with each other, and there's like obviously an attunement there. And somebody will say, well, you were both talking about dragonflies.
Right.
And there's, you might have gone to the same store thousands of miles away or something, or there's only one greeting card out at that time that has dragonflies on it or something like that. But that, to me, is just like the statistical probability of that is just like,
no. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
Everything is possible, but just that.
Everything's possible. So, yeah.
Just the fact that after seeing them for months and then all that, it was just like, what the fuck?
That's a big click.
It's a big click. I told her, I was like, I don't know what this means. Like, I know it means we're connected on like a multi-dimensional level, but like I really don't know what it means. And like hopefully it makes sense someday. But it kind of freaked me out. It was very beautiful, and like my heart just like ripped open with like wow, you know what I mean? Like that emotion, and it was just like, wow, what the fuck does that mean, dude?
Yeah.
Especially that was probably one of the craziest synchronicities. But there's just so many, dude. There's so many.
It happens every day. There's
every day.
Every day.
One time I was reading about angel numbers, And I was particularly looking at the number 333. As I said 333, I looked and the time said 33. See what I'm saying, dude? Like, we're tapped in. I'm reading like symbolism. Oh, angel number 333 has to do with like ascended masters and Jesus
33.
And as I read the word Jesus, I almost describe it as the doorknob, the door handle. There's doorknobs and there's door handles. So the door handle to my bathroom door, it's almost like somebody smacked it. It jiggled real hard. Like as soon as I read the word Jesus.
What's your life path number?
I have it on my computer.
Yeah.
I don't remember right. 14? I don't know. What's yours?
33.
Whoa, there we go.
Izzy's 22. So there's 3 master numbers. There's an 11, a 22, and a 33. And we're looking for our 11, you know?
After the podcast, I'll check.
Yeah.
Because I definitely have it on there somewhere in some kind of PDF. But yeah, man, it's truly a beautiful thing. It's like once you wake up, you walk around in a constant state of amazement.
There's a couple of little perspective shifts that I think will make a difference for anybody. And that's like, one, life is happening for you, not to you.
Yes.
What's your top little mantra that keeps you sane?
Just keep moving forward. But I also very much subscribe to whatever's happening to you is happening for you. I try to say that to people all the time, especially friends who come with me. Maybe they're a little down or, they're going through a breakup or their mental health isn't great. I'm like, listen, it's all happening to teach you something, to make you better, to make you more of who you are becoming, So I think that's great advice for anybody.
What else do you like?
Spread love.
Yep.
Always and no matter what, even if you're not having a great day. You never know how far that can go, because I've experienced it myself where I'm having maybe something happened that day and I was feeling some kind of a mood, and then just some random stranger gives me a big smile or, hey, how you doing? Or, just something that seems so insignificant that it really isn't. So just little things like that. Just, you never know what someone's going through or what they could be battling. We're all fighting an unseen battle so just be love. And be yourself.
Yeah.
You got to be yourself. Before Psychedelics, I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted to fit in. I was a yes man. If I thought Eminem was the best rapper and you said, no, dude, 50 Cent was the best rapper, I'd be like, yeah, or 50 Cent. I guess 50 Cent's the best. Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then I take Psychedelics and I realize it almost was like an empowering thing for me, where I realized who I was and what I wanted to do. And there's a kind of confidence that comes behind that. And just wanting to be yourself and realizing that you don't, like Kendrick Lamar says, be different, do different things, don't be alike, Yeah. Because it gives other people the permission to do the same thing.
Yeah. It really does. But like, it's interesting how the process of getting better, we always still fall back. We always, at least I do, where it's like, you do this work, you expand your perspective and your consciousness, you take chances and risks when your ego is destroyed, right? And then sometimes if you're not continually doing the work, the ego returns and you find yourself overextended and over-leveraged. And then some old bad habits in terms of personality and behavior pop up and out, right? The stress reactions.
Yeah.
So how, staying consistent.
Yeah.
Right back to consistency.
Comfort is the biggest killer, man. It really is.
Yeah.
Comfort really is. But that's the hero's journey, man. Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Like, if you're listening and you're not familiar with the concept, just go on YouTube and look up Joseph Campbell Hero's Journey. Especially if you're a Star Wars fan, look up Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, Star Wars, and it connects it all that. But our life is just a continuation of cycles of the hero's journey, where you have a call, you see your life and your habits and you're not happy with it, and things can get better. So you have a call to adventure. You have to jump into the unknown, and on that path, these entities and forces, call it ego, call it other negative people, will come in and try to stop you and bring you back to those old ways and old habits and old comforts, and then That's where the real unseen battle goes on, within. And then you come out of it, and it's just the hero's journey, and it just happens. It's a cycle. You just keep moving forward. That's all I can say.
But I feel like at least personally in my life, I've done a good job of skirting the larger sacrifice that's required to reach the level of self-mastery that I need to achieve to have what I want in the world.
Bring it back to the hero's journey and the idea of the dragon.
Yeah.
The dragon guards all the gold, and the dragon represents your biggest fears.
Yeah.
And then the greatest things in life, all the riches of the universe, are on the other side of those fears when you can ultimately conquer them.
But like
when you slay that dragon. But how do you slay it?
As far as I'm aware, my greatest fear in life is like right now is just, well, post-COVID is just like financial security.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that really brings me anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like when that isn't right, then everything creates anxiety for me.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the dragon. How do I slay that dragon?
Right. Yeah. Depends on the fears then. That dragon depends on the fears.
Well, the fear is the not having enough right?
Yeah.
So like how do you slay that not having enough?
Maybe you just abandon that whole mindset altogether.
Right.
And just align with abundance and affirm abundance and wealth and prosperity. Even though your bank account might not say it, if you feel and you are aligned with that vibration,
the bank account will follow.
Yeah. It's almost like you have
so
to make
easy.
It's so easy, but it's also so fucking hard.
Yes.
It's so hard. So that's why you got to do it in little steps.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way that I've been going. I'll manifest, $10,000 here. I'll manifest a new opportunity here or there. That car out there, like that was just another little mind game I played. Let me see if I can manifest this.
For sure.
It's already mine. It's
For sure.
I aligned with that vibration, and then, time is the only thing that separates from when the thought to when you get it. So
right.
If you're out there and you want to have financial security or whatever, I think just start with little breadcrumbs. And it's treat it like a game, dude. If we're living in some crazy video game, fuck it, dude. Just go after it. Just start small and then just get bigger every cycle. Every new hero's journey, just get a little bigger.
A little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger.
Like your Fibonacci spiral.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Exponentially large.
Mm-hmm. Compound them fucking journeys.
Dude, it's such a weird thing just to be a human being, just to be conscious and aware in three-dimensional, tangible space with no instruction manual.
No instruction manual.
And no fucking context or clues about what is going on here.
No. It's amazing, dude.
Who got on this ride? Who designed this? Who was like, wait, so I go there and then I'm going to forget everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. So how's the place? Is it good? It's got some good beaches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Giant fireball trying to give you cancer? Okay. Okay. Also makes all the food grow? Okay. If it's not there, you're sad? Okay.
Right. Oh, right. This is Rogan did that, right? That's a Rogan thing. Yep. Right. I totally forgot that was even his thing. That's so great.
There's a giant fireball in the sky. He says we are on a rock hurling through a shooting gallery that is the infinity of space. There's a giant nuclear explosion in the sky that's making all the food and all the plants, and it's trying to kill you. And if it's not there, you get sad.
Right. And so that is the interesting thing, right? So everything that exists on the planet that has life in it, that life energetically started via a photon coming from the sun, right? So that photon hits the plant's leaf. The plant turns that photon into its fruit or the corn.
Sucrose or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. And it uses that photon to, takes the energy from that photon and puts it in a water molecule, and then it stores it as energy, and then turns it into corn, and then that corn turns into a cow, and that cow gets passed to you through a window at Wendy's.
Dude, what the fuck?
And it's like the sun.
And it's 93 million miles away.
Right. To here's your order.
Wow.
Just the whole way,
We
everything.
don't think about that shit, but that is the reality of it.
So everything that you eat is light that is in a deeper and deeper density.
It just has like a different filter on top of it. They keep putting layers on it.
Yeah, like more weight to it. So there was I forget what the sect was, but there was some religious sect that believed that human beings were light trapped in mud.
Oh, like the body is the mud?
Yeah, the body is the mud.
Wow.
Right? Because the light hits the mud and then creates the plant. So we shouldn't fuck and reproduce, because by doing so, we are giving into the immediacy of this pleasure, and it's keeping us imprisoned.
Wow. All from the sun.
What do you think? You think this is a prison? What do you think it's a...
Yeah, I think so. In a way, I don't want to come off as like Debbie Downer, but there are people who say like, heaven and hell, like hell is earth as a realm.
Yeah.
And whatever's after this, that's where the real heaven is. Get recycled back into the universe as like an energetic form.
Interesting. This is punishment.
Yeah, this is like almost like a punishment. We're like, we agreed to this because Duncan Trussell was talking about it. I forget. What he did was he took the Book of John and he did a search and replace on his computer with words from the simulation theory. So he plugged in simulation theory.
Yeah.
I think I played it for you.
Yeah,
I might have.
You did.
Or I think it might have been Alan Watts talking about it, where he's like, if the idea is we are God and we are the infinite intelligence, consciousness, and we know that, eventually you'd want to see what it was like to come into this third dimension and forget all of your divinity. For sure. And experience what it was like to be like this avatar on this planet where there is fear and pain and suffering as like a school. It's a place where we learn. That's an idea. I don't know.
It's a good idea. It's like it's the right, it's the right idea. But it's an idea, it's an idea nonetheless.
I'm not smart enough to fully understand it, but I like to think about it.
Here's where that goes left for me, is that if we are God, if we are all God experiencing itself in this third dimension in this different way, then that means God's schizophrenic. God's fucking crazy, because God's been sitting in the infinite timeless void for infinite timelessness.
Yeah.
It would make me explode too. Bag.
Wow.
Right?
I love that. God is schizophrenic because it's got all these multiple personalities and infinite incarnations. And not even humans, but plants and animals and
super
fish.
Super schizophrenic. Every atom. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
We're doing it all.
We're doing it all. We're trying. What do you got?
We're trying them all.
Right.
Yeah, man. I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think you go after you
die? I think that like location, like do you mean what is the experience that you have after you die?
Yeah, sure. That could be a good one because we both experienced DMT, and I don't know if it's proven like with scientific literature, but when you die, it's proposed that a large amount right before of DMT is flooded into your brain and released into your brain. So what if like you just like tripping on DMT when you die? I don't know.
Yeah. If you are, that's cool. But like, so I think that one of two things happens. One, your consciousness ceases, and then there's nothing to lament. It's sunset, like it ending, right? Like, oh my God, I'm scared to die.
Yeah.
Well, what if I doesn't exist anymore? And it's like, then there's nothing that's scared to die. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Or the consciousness continues, and I think probably I'll end up just reincarnating in this same lifetime and make one less mistake every single time.
If it's a school,
right?
We just keep coming back until we get it, and we can just transcend again and be hanging out with the source or whatever the fuck.
Yep. Exactly. But
it.
Then what's the deal then? Okay, yeah, cool. We go back to hanging out with infinity when nothing changes forever. Yeah. Right? So it's like there's your two options.
Yeah. It's almost kind of depressing when you think about it.
It's fun. It's great. It's fantastic.
It's awesome being a non-physical being floating around through dimensions. I love it.
Right. Absolutely. Well, things are easy. If you're a non-physical being, then everything's easy. Anything that you think, you can just make happen.
Yeah.
And like being here, there's like the joy is in the challenge. Right?
Yeah.
Because like, for example, my challenge in life is when I feel anxious, I project that anxiety.
100%.
When I feel, and throughout the course of my life, I'm getting better and better at it. And every time I have a little win where, previously I would have said some shitty thing or like, been like, this is your fault, or projected something, it's less and less and less and less. And when I have one where I lose control of my communication because I'm in a fight or flight mode, I feel terrible about it, which sucks.
Yeah.
Because usually, in addition to feeling terrible, I've done some damage to some relationship.
Right.
But every time that I get it right, it's joyful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a step forward.
It's just that I get a little butthurt because nobody knows the work that went into, none of the people that you interact with know the work that went into the good experiences.
Yeah.
But people will largely take a negative, if you create a negative experience for them.
You'll only be known for that.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's like
sucks.
Human nature. Human nature, though.
Yeah.
Because we have a negativity bias. The things that cause us pain live much closer to the forefront of our memories for our own protection.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Pattern recognition.
Right.
Which is hardwired into us.
Right.
Don't eat that berry.
Right.
It'll kill you.
Right.
Bad berry. And then you just get programmed.
Yeah. Do you know the monkey thing where they put a ladder in a room, and they put the bananas on top of the ladder? You know this one?
Yes.
Tell it. With the
sprinklers,
the sprinkler system or something like that?
I heard one where it was like where they had monkeys and there was some food source, and every single time they would touch the food. Isn't this one, every time they touch the food, they would get doused with water?
Yes.
Other times I've heard they would experience a little electrical shock.
Yeah, no, I hear it's the water. The water one is
the water one. Maybe it's mice or whatever. But
Yeah.
same idea.
Yeah.
These animal species where every time they try to go for something, zap, or you get sprayed with water.
Yeah.
You don't like that. That hurts. I don't like that.
Yep.
So then you start to build this pattern recognition that, I guess bananas equal pain.
Yep.
So I'm not going to fuck with bananas.
Yep.
And then they would tell the other monkeys.
Yep.
And then the other monkeys would know.
Yep.
Without ever seeing the bananas. They would just
Right.
associate bananas with bad shit.
Yeah.
And then isn't it like the new kids that were born would have that just genetically imprinted into
Yes.
them?
So that's the crazy part, is like how much information our genes store over the course of, like, I can't even imagine if we could I bet the entire course of human history and every event that ever happened in your bloodline, every memory that ever happened in your bloodline is probably there
Just ingrained
somehow. So the monkey thing was that, like, the bananas were on top of a ladder. The monkey would run up the ladder. If the monkey grabbed the banana, all the monkeys in the room got doused.
Yes.
All 10 or 12 monkeys. So they would eventually, they figured it out, and then they would take out one monkey and bring in a new monkey. And the new monkey's like, why the fuck are you guys just chilling here? There's a bunch of bananas on top of this. And then the new monkey would start to run up, and then they would beat the fuck out of that monkey, grab him, and be like, "No, don't touch those bananas, monkey! Fuck you!" Right? And the new monkey is confused because it's like it never experiences the thing, and then eventually they replace the whole thing till there's no original monkeys left, and they're still beating the fuck out of anybody that goes up the ladder. Right? And it's like you have no idea why you're doing it. You have no idea what's going to happen. But somebody taught you along the way that you just have to kick the shit out of a monkey that climbs the ladder.
Oh, my God.
What the fuck?
What's even the word for that? Because I see that in our own human society.
Yeah, and give me an example.
The old adage of you need to go to school, graduate, go to college, graduate, get a good job, get married, and save till you retire and die. Because I did it, and your father did it, and his father did it, and his father did it.
You wrote me into this.
Yeah. Exactly, though.
Yeah.
That's just what's known. It's like these intergenerational things that people like. But like, what's the word for that? Conditioning. Yeah, that's why it's so important being someone. It's so important to unlearn all the shit that we've been programmed to believe growing up. I learned more about myself and my role in the universe and the secrets of the universe 5 years of reading books and experimenting with psychedelics than I ever learned 12 years of public school.
Sure, for sure.
I read a book called, the first book I read, because in 12 years of public school, I maybe read one book cover to cover, and it was The Kite Runner. Pretty good book.
Like that book.
Great book.
Yep.
Obviously, I liked it, read the whole thing, and it was the only one. But I got out of high school, and I got Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani, I think is how you pronounce it, founder of Mind Valley Meditation Company. And basically the book, one of the first things it talks about is like, you need to question your reality. You need to challenge he calls them bullshit rules that we're just conditioned to believe about.
Love that.
Love that. Culture and society that's put in front of us. You got to question that shit because because some guy wrote it down somewhere like that we live by it, or someone did this 100 years ago and we're still doing it. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Question your reality and do what you believe is right and true. And that's, more people got to get on that wave, I think.
Do what you believe is right and true is the important thing.
Yes.
Well said, dude.
Yeah. Because your parents could tell you something.
Do what your intuition tells you is the right way to do it.
Yes. Yes. I have a friend, Ferris. It's a weird example, but I think about it. He was born in a fundamentalist, Amish society. Very suppressive, very limiting. In his heart, he knew that there were better things out there for him. He had to make a tough decision and leave all that behind because he knew in his heart this is what has to be done. And now he's like an entrepreneur. I don't know if he's a multimillionaire, but he's made a living for himself and built a family around it, and he's doing well because he did what he felt in his heart to be true. Not a lot of people can say that. Some people, using the Amish as an example, no offense to the Amish people, you build cool shit, and I kind of fuck with the no technology vibe. It's kind of cool sometimes.
Someday they may be, everybody may be like, fuck, they were right.
Yeah, if the solar flare hits and the board and the grid gets fried, the Amish are gonna be like, ha ha.
Yeah, dude, they're not even gonna know. Nobody's gonna even. Yeah. Has anybody told the Amish?
Yeah.
Right?
They're over there thriving with floating cities somehow.
No problem, yeah. They're totally fine. They're going to be totally chill. There's a wisdom to living like that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Tom, let's fucking wrap this up.
Yeah, sorry, man. I know it's been a long day for me.
It's all good. But
dude, I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much I thank you for the opportunity to sit down with you. This was fun.
Of course, man. My pleasure. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The first of many.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, dude. I'll see you soon.
See you, buddy.
Later, bro.
Love you.
Love you too.